What's up, you guys? Aditi. Welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to talk about personality disorders. There are like 10. There are three clusters. Usme they are divided. So I thought that I will make separate videos on each disorder and also on clusters के अलग अलग वीडियो बट आई थॉट कि एक थोड़ा सा इंट्रो दे दूँ सो यू नो ऑल ऑफ इट टुगेदर अगर थोड़ी सी छोटी सी रिविजन करनी हो किसी को तो दिस वीडियो वुड बी रियली हेल्पफुल सो let's just understand what personality disorder is. So a personality disorder can be diagnosed when a person has a certain pattern of behavior, like it's pervasive, it's inflexible, it's stable, and it is for long duration. This behavior is causing clinically significant impairment in at least two of the following areas. So it could be cognitive, affective, interpersonal functioning and impulse control. इन चारों में से अगर दो में at least दो में उनको clinically significant impairment disturbance है, then the person has personality disorder. Now there are three clusters, cluster A, B and C. So cluster A is basically a little erratic and odd, eccentric. It has some psychotic symptoms even, whereas cluster B is more about mood. So a lot of mood disorders can get a little confused with the cluster B disorders. And then there is cluster C, which is about anxiety and worrying wale unke symptoms hote hain. Let's start with cluster A, which has three: paranoid personality disorder, schizoid personality disorder, and schizotypal personality disorder. Let's start with paranoid. So paranoid may they generally have this persistent fear. So they tend to mistrust. They do not trust anyone. So if they are in a relationship, they will always be suspicious of their partner. If the partner is cheating on them, they will not be able to trust even their friends and families. They always believe that people around them are always not loyal to them. They are going to be cheated by them. These people will deceive them. Second is schizoid personality. Now schizoid का schizo देख के लोगों को लगता है schizophrenia से related है. It's not. It's just one symptom which is a negative symptom is schizophrenia, which is social withdrawal. वो ही इससे link करेगा. So I remember schizoid as avoid because they avoid people. People who have schizoid personality disorder, they do not have interest in social relationships. They're इतना इंटरेस्ट नहीं होता कि they don't even like get into romantic relationships etc. No, when we are excited, like you are expecting to get a dream job or you're expecting to like get into your dream college and you do get it, you are on the top of the world, you're on the 9th cloud. Whereas something bad happens, you feel really down, like nothing, you feel so hopeless and useless and nothing can go right in your life. People who have schizoid, उन लोगों का emotion range बहुत छोटा होता है. So when they feel extremely happy, they're not actually feeling that ecstasy. And when they're feeling extremely sad, they're not feeling as sad. So because they're not interested in social relationships, they also are not, they lack the social skills and they're also seen as very cold and distant. Schizotypal, again थोड़ा सा इसमें थोड़ा ज़्यादा psychotic symptoms दिखते हैं because they believe in magical realism. They believe that they have magical powers or they do these magical rituals. Their cognitive and their perception are very distorted. And जब वो बहुत ही ज़्यादा stressed होते हैं तो they do exhibit transient, which is like temporary psychotic symptoms. Let's come to cluster B. So cluster B has 4. So cluster B is all about mood and being wild. So that at times they can be like confused with mood disorders like bipolar 1, 2, MDD. There could be comorbids also, like जिनको personality disorder है, for example ABC. So there could be comorbid with bipolar 1 या फिर dysphoric disorder, like वो भी हो सकता है. So there are like 4 Cluster B, like I said, histrionic, borderline, narcissistic, and antisocial personality disorder. Histrionic personality, they are very extravagant. Okay, they want to be the center of attention, and they will do whatever they can to be the center of attention. So they will either be very seductive and provocative, wear clothes a certain way, they will do very lavish lot of makeup, flashy clothes or flashy makeup, all of that, so they can be the center of attention. Whether it's positive or negative, it's center of attention, baby. Let's talk about borderline. Borderline, okay, there are a few symptoms that are very prominent, kind of. So one is that their sense of identity is kind of shaky. So whoever they are in a relationship with or they are close with, they kind of take over their likes, their dislikes, their interests, their values, their ideologies, everything. मतलब उनका खुद की कोई आइडेंटिटी as such है ही नहीं. They just mask whatever people that they are in, like maybe their boyfriend or their girlfriend or their best friend, whatever. उनकी identity they just take over, kind of. So they kind of lack identity. Another one is emotional instability, where when we feel happy, we feel happy. When we are ecstatic, we are ecstatic. But for them, any emotion that they feel, it's always in the negative. So if they are annoyed by something, like somebody is like eating chips and वो chips खाने की आवाज़ कर रहा है, then they, instead of just being annoyed, their emotion will go to rage. When something inconvenient happens, when you would actually like be a little sad about it, they will have a full blown crying episode, kind of a thing. So their emotions just go in opposite, like very extreme direction. Another very important symptom of borderline is suicidal thoughts, attempts, even self-harm. So at times they behave a certain way because they want to get rid of any negative emotions that may have. So for example, they may sleep with multiple partners because they feel very lonely and like they don't have anyone. So they're trying to get rid of the loneliness feeling. The same way they would actually even self-harm because the same reason, just to get rid of any emotional pain that they are feeling. Another one is impulsivity. They have a lot of impulsivity where they would just do things without thinking about the consequences. So the substance abuse, they would sleep with multiple partners, they would recklessly drive. Let's talk about narcissistic. Like the word narcissistic, like it's an adjective that we tend to use. So there's somebody who has a very high self-esteem, somebody who has an inflated sense of self, like that would be the right way to say instead of saying high self-esteem. They have an exaggerated sense of self. They think they are better than other people. वो लोगों को थोड़ा नीचे देखते हैं because they think they are superior. They also lack empathy. There are two types of narcissistic personality. One is grandiose and the other one is vulnerable. So grandiose is basically they overestimate their abilities, and they tend to like brag and also try to get attention, be the center of attention. And the second one I spoke about is vulnerable, which is basically superiority complex, where उन लोगों का self esteem खुद का low होता है, and that's the reason why to compensate it, they खुद के बारे में बहुत बड़ा चढ़ा के बोलेंगे. They think so much about themselves that वो लोग normal people से बात भी नहीं करेंगे because they're like, you won't even understand me. Only high class people can kind of like. That's what narcissistic personality is. Let's come to antisocial. So antisocial के लिए main thing is that they lack empathy, but they have a very good understanding of people's emotions and like understanding social cues. They tend to be criminals. They may not like kill people and stuff, but they may be doing maybe white collar crimes or whatever. So they lack social norms. They will not follow social norms. They do get into criminalities. You generally tend to see these signs since a very young age. Kids who have conduct disorder like ODD, opposition defiant disorder, or even autism spectrum disorder, they tend to grow up to have antisocial personality. Take all of this with a grain of salt. I'm just giving just the introduction, statistics वगैरह full-fledged video में दूंगी. Coming to cluster C. Now cluster C has a lot of anxiety prone symptoms mostly. So one is avoidant, second is dependent, and third is obsessive compulsive personality disorder, OCPD, which is nothing like OCD, by the way. Just let's start with dependent personality disorder. Like the word suggests, dependent. They feel that they cannot function, they cannot do in the simplest work without their partner, for instance. And उनकी वजह से उनको हमेशा anxiety भी होती है कि what will I do if this person leaves me or goes away, मैं क्या करूँगी इनके बिना. So उनकी वजह से उनको anxiety भी बहुत होती है. Avoidant personality disorder, इसमें और स्किज़ॉइड में लोगों को बहुत कंफ्यूजन होगा. सो अवॉइडेंट में दे ऑल्सो अवॉइड सोशल रिलेशनशिप्स, स्किज़ॉइड में दे अवॉइड सोशल रिलेशनशिप्स, बट द डिफरेंस इज दैट अवॉइडेंट पीपल do want people, but because they fear rejection and abandonment, they tend to like नहीं चाहिए. Whereas schizoid को ज़रूरत ही नहीं है. Like they know for a fact, they voluntarily do not seek social relationships. They voluntarily do not have any interest. That does not make sense. But they do not have interest in people and social relationships. Whereas avoidant people, they want it. But because of their fear and anxiety कि लोग उनको छोड़ के चले जाएंगे, they don't try to seek people and they don't try to seek relationships. Obsessive Compulsive Personality Disorder. Best example is if you have seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Amy Santiago. Somebody who are perfectionist, somebody who are very workaholic and they're just into their jobs a lot. They need to do it a certain way, like ऐसे ही करना होता है. Like if they, and that's the reason why they cannot even delegate tasks कि तुम कर लो, तुम्हें कर लोगे, because they need to do it. Then it needs to be a certain way, and because of this कभी कभी वो काम टाइम पे ख़त्म भी नहीं कर पाते because of the perfectionistic attitude. Because of this they cannot even like relax and rest. उनकी वजह से ज़्यादा वेकेशंस भी नहीं लेते. They also have trouble having even hobbies. You know, hobbies like अगर ड्राइंग कर रहे होंगे फॉर इंस्टेंस, तो उन लोग वहाँ पे भी उनका ये आ जाता है परफेक्शनिस्टिक एटीट्यूड कि वो भी सर्टन वे में ही होना चाहिए. सो बेसिकली दे कैन नॉट chill out in the simplest sense. OCD is different from OCPD. OCD में they have obsessive thoughts. Okay, it's like a vicious cycle. Okay, they have an obsessive thought about something and they have to act compulsively. कुछ एक्शन करेंगे वो थॉट के बेसिस पे, तब उनकी एंग्जाइटी कम होती है टेम्पररीली. यहाँ पे ऐसा नहीं है. सेकेंडली in OCD they know that ये thought is very futile, it's very stupid and मुझे नहीं करना चाहिए, but they cannot do it. It's so obsessive, it's impossible for them to ignore. Whereas person who has OCPD, they generally are egocentric, which means that they are happy the way they are, which is the thing that I was coming to. Like any personality disorder, generally treatments की अगर बात करें तो they generally don't go for treatment, they don't seek treatment because उनके लिए वो problematic नहीं है in a way. But people around them, like their family, their friends, their significant others, they tend to be suffering more by this person who has a personality disorder. And वो लोग जब फोर्स करते हैं that you have to go to therapy, you have to seek treatment, तब जाके reluctantly they go and seek treatment. And that's the reason why ज़्यादा सक्सेस रेट भी नहीं है, बिकॉज खुद के मन से नहीं चाहते, बिकॉज दे डोंट फाइंड एनी इशू और फॉल्ट इन देम, और like they don't see that they have any impairment, तो उसकी वजह से they don't think they need to go, and that's the reason why they don't even work on it. So the same thing with OCPD, and it's the same thing with all other personality disorders. And that is it for today's video. I hope it was a shorter video. I really wanted to keep it as short as possible. I hope it gives you an introduction to personality disorders. I will make cluster A के लिए एक वीडियो, B के लिए and C के लिए अलग वीडियो, and all the different disorders के लिए separate if need be. Like there are some that are so easy that it's very stupid, but if you do want separate videos on separate personality disorders, let me know in the comment section. Also let me know what videos you do want to see, because I will start working on them, because this channel is ours and I would like to make content that you are interested in watching. So yeah, if you enjoyed and if you learned something from this video, like, share and subscribe to our channel, join the community, and I'll see you next Friday with another video on psychology.